Hello friends, it's Rick Beatty. I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Royal Oak, and I'm in my office to do this meditation. I was going to originally go and record one outside, but it is pretty cold this afternoon, so I'm going to do it here from my office. And I'm going to share with you in a minute the Daily Word. And we do so with permission of Unity, who publishes Daily Word. And if you don't have Daily Word, you can get it in the hard copy form. I get it also on my phone, on an app. And I get it in email. I love the digital version. It's such a powerful way to begin the day. And I don't, Unity of Royal Oak doesn't earn any kind of commission or anything, but I strongly encourage you to subscribe, particularly during these times when we're all looking for a solid place to stand, a rock, if you will, to stand in the storm. And yeah, we know the vaccines are coming and there's lots of frustration in the air about all of that. This is the time for us to remain resilient, to remain centered and present to ourselves. And when we lose that presence, then to find a way back. And very often for me, I have probably read Daily Word for the better part of 46 years. So I haven't always subscribed, but I always managed to get my hands on a copy. Anyway, the Daily Word for today, Wednesday, February the 3rd, 2021, is protected. I feel protected by the presence of God expressing through others. Challenging or lonely times might leave me struggling to feel the presence of God. In moments when I find myself besieged with fear or anxiety, I help myself by calling upon the power of my faith. With faith, I quicken my belief that the presence of God is within me and all people. I pay close attention to signs of the divine in the world, such as people helping others through service and generosity. I'm grateful for those times when someone came to my aid. I feel safe knowing God is within all loving impulses towards service and help. I remember that the kingdom of God is all around me, and I feel protected. And the Bible verse for today is Psalm 138, verse 7. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve me against the wrath of my enemies. You stretch out your hand, and your right hand delivers me. Powerful. So there's a lot in here. I'd like to just spend a few minutes and unpack this because there's some powerful teachings in here if we allow ourselves to experience them. Challenging or lonely times might leave me struggling to feel the presence of God. I know many are occasionally struggling. Maybe not to feel God's presence, but to just feel like they're part of something. And I relax. If you're in one of those places, I relax and I ask you to relax and invite you into the knowing that right where you are, God is. And right in this interaction that we're having, albeit virtual, right here, God is. It's the truth. We can't be separate from God. We're not powerful enough to separate ourselves from God, because God, or Source, or the Buddha, or Jesus, or the Christ, or the Atman, whatever you call it, doesn't matter. It is the very life in you. Charles Fillmore wrote long ago, we're not just reflections of the divine presence. We have the potential to be all that God is. Lonely times during this pandemic, reach out. Come to one of our Zoom meetings. Call somebody. If you're struggling with depression, reach out for some mental health support. It's available to you. If you're in our area here in Michigan, go to our website at unityofroyaloak.org, and there's a tab there labeled Coping with Coronavirus or Coping with COVID-19. It's been almost a year ago since I put the tab up, so I don't remember what I named it, but it's one of those two things. And on there, there's some resources, including a link for some state assistance with mental health issues. Keep yourself healthy. We got to keep ourselves physically healthy, wear our masks, keep the distance, watch the big gatherings. It's coming up on the big game weekend, so I've already heard a lot of people planning on, oh, the restaurants are open and the bars are open. This is not the time to let our guard down. Anyway, challenging or lonely times might leave me struggling to feel the presence of God. Breathe. Breathe and allow yourself to be filled with an awareness of the presence. And we're in a moment, we'll be in meditation. And that really is the purpose of meditation. I think of it as resting in God. Resting in that divine awareness. Resting in the presence. Resting in a consciousness of the presence. In moments when I find myself besieged with fear or anxiety, I help myself by calling upon the power of my faith. And I do call upon the power of my faith, and I also call upon the power of strength. Strength and faith work together. Strength is like your spiritual backbone. Strength is resiliency. Strength is what you need to remain centered in your convictions, in your morals, in your ethics, to remain strong. Not because you're strong, but because that which is your life, that presence of God in you, is all strength. Jesus said, of myself I can do nothing. It is the Father in me that does its mighty work. With faith, I quicken my belief that the presence of God is within me and all people. Either God is in all of us or none of us. God doesn't have any favorites, is not a respecter of persons. Only human beings can be like that. God is not a being like that. God is the state of being, I believe. I think of God as the very energy of life itself, underpinning all things, not only on this world, but on billions of worlds. I pay close attention to signs of the divine in the world, such as people helping others through service and generosity. I was at a grocery store last week, and a young man who was the cashier and was actually the manager, and when I came through, he said, "How are you today?" Through his mask, and I had mine on, and I said, "I'm doing good today. Yesterday was a little tough." And he looked up at me and looked me straight in the eye and said, "If you ever need someone to talk to, just come through and talk to me." Now, this guy was probably 25 years old, maybe a little older. I'm not a good judge of character. I'm 65. I looked at him and I said, "Thank you." I said, "You have no idea what your presence might do for another person." I said, "I'm a pastor of a church, a spiritual center. I'm a leader. And what you just did is so important. I want you to know that you may think you're the manager of a grocery store, but I'm going to tell you that you're a minister. Be aware. This coming Saturday on the 6th, from 3 to 5 in the afternoon, our outreach team will be here. We're having the Royal Oak Drive Up again, and we're going to be collecting PB&J, peanut butter and jelly. It's called Spread the Love for Lighthouse. And the need for food is urgent in this area. So bring some peanut butter and jelly, and I hear they get more peanut butter than jelly, so I'm going to do a 2-to-1, 2 jellies for every peanut butter I get. Come on by and see us. Anyway, I'm grateful for those times when someone came to my aid. I just told you about one. When I was much younger, a priest, and I wasn't even a practicing Catholic back then, came to my aid. Never know what the simple thing that you might do might touch someone in a profound way. I feel safe knowing God is within all loving impulses towards service and help. I see evidence of the divine when I look to others. The smiles, I try to always smile over my mask. Look for friendly eyes. Hold the door open. Fist bump the door to keep it open for somebody so they don't have to touch it. Give someone a hand, a smile. You don't know how you might touch them in a way that you'll never realize. I remember that the kingdom of God is all around me, and I feel protected. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you, and also that the kingdom of God is all around you. In that very kingdom we live and move and have our being. This is the truth. And yet we're like fish swimming around in the water looking for water. We're looking outside of ourselves for water instead of inside. I don't know how many thousands of times I have pointed this out in various contexts, multiple churches. We fuss with the outer world. We fuss with the outer world, and yet the outer world is effect. It's not cause. Cause is the inner life. Cause is the presence of God. During meditation, we take some time to turn away from the outer world and its noise, and its thinking that it knows, and its continuous marketing to us. That if you had this or that, if only we could go to a restaurant, if only more people could go, if only we could go back to normal, then I'll be happy. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't, because most of us weren't happy then. Happiness we cultivate. It's an inner quality. It flows out of the presence of God in our lives. So I invite you to begin the process of this time together in meditation. And I do a simple mindful meditation. I know some folks, and I'm going to get a couple of them to do meditations and record them and share them with you. I know some people who do powerful guided meditations. For me, meditation is kind of a more simple act. And I can do it in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I walk. That's what I was going to do today. I was going to take the camera and walk by the river and share that walk with you. I was going to share the river and just narrate it a little bit. So I walk and meditate. You can meditate with eyes wide open in a noisy, crowded place. I do it in the grocery store lines all the time, particularly when they get really long. And just to drop into the presence, to just be with God, be with and in God. Know that God is in you and you are in God. This is the truth. So I invite you to get comfortable. If you want, light a candle. I've got a couple back there going. Get settled in your chair. I'm going to do the same thing. Lock it so it doesn't rock all over the place. And begin by taking a deep breath. Sigh it out. The reason we take the deep breath is to just begin to draw the line through the outer world and the inner world. And I invite you to sigh it out, because that audible exhale, let that be symbolic of you're just releasing everything that came before this moment. Deep breath in, hold it, sigh it out. That process of a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, feel the tension of it, sigh it out audibly, pause a moment, feel the emptiness, and then breathe in again. That's what I call a square breath. I know there are other names for it. Can't think of any right off the top of my head. But that's essentially a mantra, and sometimes I use this mantra with that breathing pattern. God is, I am, we are one. Because that is the truth. There's only one. One presence, one power, one life. God the good omnipotence. Only one. And we are united in that one. Notice your body in the place where you're seated or lying down. Just become aware of it. Is there any tension in you? Your feet or ankles, in your neck, often we're carrying it there. Please understand that these are odd times we're living in right now. We know that. Unusual times. Once in a lifetime event. It will soon enough be past. I know it's been about a year since we first started to hear about this coronavirus. And some things have been tough, and some things have been interesting and fantastic. Useful. My own spiritual practice is upped a lot. Still, there are days, because I'm a big extrovert, that I want to be out doing what I want to do. Being a pastor the way I'm used to. Together we find a new way forward, and part of that, doing that successfully, I believe, is the spiritual resilience, the musculature that we develop in meditation. The Fillmores were frequent meditators. They called it spending time in the stillness or in the silence. Reverend Pauline Pipe does the most amazing meditations. She's a Unity minister, and she has a Unity FM podcast. And she talks about that, resting in the stillness of the silence. Well, I'm playing Gregory Barrette, his CD, Heart of Oneness, with his permission. He and I worked together long ago, and he's an amazing guy. Really got me. I had a meditation practice, but he really helped me up it. So notice any tension in your body, and if you notice that there's some there, like some in my shoulder, my neck, as I think about it, I allow it to drain away, invite it to return to the nothingness from where it came. Now just begin to notice your own breath, the pattern of it. I often think about, and I've said this many times, there's nothing I need to do to bring the breath. I can't cause it and I can't stop it. It is though I am being breathed. Notice how you are being breathed. And notice also how your heart is pumping. For we are amazingly made human beings. So I'm going to turn the volume up on the music a little bit. I invite you to just be present to yourself and to follow your next breath inward to wherever you think the presence of God is in you. For truly it's all of you, fills your entire being, but let's bring our attention maybe to our heart. Imagine you can take a breath in through your heart, breathing in love and breathing out love. Allow yourself a few moments in the stillness with the divine presence, whatever you call it. Should you hear any noise outside or from outside here, outside my office, let it just be a reminder to turn within. For a meditation is a turning away from the outer focus and focusing inward, and every noise can be simply a reminder to turn within. Should your mind wander off, and it will, just gently bring it back to your breath, to the pattern of your breath, and then follow the next breath inward. And follow your next breath inward to move a little bit deeper into your inner world. And notice the peace of God that fills your heart and your mind and your very being. And say to yourself, I am the peace of God. I am the peace of God. I am that which God is, and God is that which I am. If you or someone you know is asking for prayer or looking for a particular healing, body, mind, or spirit, I invite you to open your heart and your mind to the possibility that it can happen. Because I believe that healing can always happen. A cure sometimes happens, but a healing always happens. To be healed is to embrace the peace of God, to be the peace of God. And if you know a particular circumstance that you would like prayer for, imagine that we are wrapping ourselves around that circumstance, that experience right now. Imagine love wrapped around it as a blanket. There's a line in A Course in Miracles that says, "Teach only love, for that is what you are." Do you know that? Your love? It's the truth of you. And I'm thinking this evening about some of those people that maybe we don't think about a lot, who are dealing with this pandemic in a big way. People who manage public housing, particularly the HUD assisted living housing all over our country, senior living centers, people who run nursing homes and assisted living centers, who are caring for our most vulnerable. Let us blanket them in love. And in light. And know for them that the work they do is ministry. Because to minister is to serve, that's all. And then thinking about the big storms that have been rolling across our country from the Pacific Northwest right on across and out through New England to the middle of the country, up through the Great Lakes region. The people who clear the roads and who shovel, who plow parking lots, who serve us. People, the linesmen who get up in storms and attempt to restore the power. So we bless them all. We bless them all. Take a deep breath and know that your life is filled with the peace of God, and know that you can be in a meditative state in about 3 seconds. It's just to turn your focus within, to turn your awareness, your attention within, to the kingdom, to the presence. I hope that you have found some benefit from this time together. Again, I'm not a guru of meditation, but I think that meditation is a way of life. Living in that presence is a way of living. It's a way of being. So I invite you to deepen your own practice. There are lots of meditations. Search for them online. A whole lot of them on YouTube, all various kinds. Allow yourself to be drawn in to your own personal relationship with the Divine Presence. If I can support or encourage you in some way, please reach out. My email address is Rick, R-I-C, no K, because there's no K in Richard, R-I-C at unityofroyaloak.org. Please visit our website at www.unityofroyaloak.org. There you'll find information about the events that we have going on, both on our classes and our calendar page, but on that front page, Kim Lang, our creative director, puts together the most beautiful graphics. When you see what you want to be a part of, it's designed so that if you click on that image at the time of the event, it will bring you right into the Zoom room. I invite you to join our Sunday experience, streamed initially at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday mornings. I can't solve your problems. I don't have that power. But I can share with you what has worked for me. And that is to place my trust and my faith in the Christ that is within me. I call that standing on the rock. You too can stand on the rock wherever you are. Whatever you're doing this week, I hope that you'll stay safe. I hope that you'll wear a mask, keep your distance. The former Surgeon General talked about watch your distance, wear a mask, wait for big social gatherings, wash your hands, 4 W's. We can do this. We will get through this. I'm looking forward to the time, I think this summer sometime, when those who are local to us can be with us. But what I want to assure you is even when we are meditating in the building again, I will still stream. We'll still stream it out there. Because we are forever transformed. That is the way of it. So remember, friends, that remember that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. All is well. Breathe into that and know the truth. Namaste.